Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Bleeding Crypto's 15-minute market update. Today is Friday, July 19th, 9:31 a.m. local time. I hope you're having a good day, morning, or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Let me start off with my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I am wrong 99.9% of the time. So if you use real money and you follow me, you have a 99.9% chance of losing it all. So you've been warned. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is game theory, basically doing fantasy trading, paper trading. All right, guys. So on Bitcoin, normally, guys, I have the chart that we normally use that I've been using on for your videos. However, today I'm kind of short on time. I'm on vacation. I've had nothing but meetings with my team and with my Telegram group, finding them trade setups. So my time is limited. So I'm going to go over the plan that I went over with my team on Discord. It's a very simple plan of what to look for this weekend. Remember, it's Friday. What are we famous for on Fridays? SPW. Scam pump weekends, meaning the markets, traditional markets are closed. So what does Asia like to do? Asia likes to say, fuck it, let's run. While the big boys are closed, we're going to run. So they run the market. So despite the fact that the markets are closed and Asia likes to run, we have to look for targets that sometimes are going to be outside of our normal scope. So traditionally, Monday through Friday, we measure everything, pretty well with fibs and harmonic patterns and so forth and so on. But when it comes to scam pump weekends, I've often noticed that the projections that I have that I normally use for everyday trading, they don't get respected as much. So we tend to run a little bit further than those projections that I normally rely on. So with that in mind, I'm going to give you two areas that I'm looking for, and I'm going to give you two scenarios, because at the end of the day, nobody knows what's going to happen. We're either going to go up or we're going to go down. But whether it's up or down, there's usually a pattern that starts to develop, that starts giving us a heads up of which direction we're going to take. So based on that information, I want to give you a quick rundown of what I saw. I'm going to give you the upside scenario, and then I'm going to give you the downside scenario. Because of course, everyone's a bull and everyone wants to know up only first, and nobody really wants to talk about the bear when things are pumping. So based off a harmonic pattern, which is these yellow lines, AB equals CD, I have a projection to go up into this area here. Now, as you guys all know, I like looking for confluence. Give me a reason besides one data point why price would go there. This yellow cluster here, guys, is based off the high block liquidations. The high block liquidations right now, high liquidations, are stacked between $72,400 and $74,000. So that's why the shaded yellow. Yellow represents the high block heat. The major heat on high block is represented on high block by yellow. So I like to incorporate that into my chart so it's easy to define. When you see yellow on my chart on a line, you are going to associate it with the high block data. So here's a confluence. The harmonic pattern ends right inside of the high block liquidation cluster. Now let me tell you something, guys. I think that this scenario is less likely because of this. Let me show you this. When I measured it out, we were here. Oh, hold on, guys. Sorry about that. Here we go. I have a hard time thinking we're going to pump 11.45%. I mean, yeah, Asia likes to pump it when the traditional markets are closed. I get it. But this seems like an overreach. All right. So I'll be the first to tell you guys, I would love to see it. I just have a hard time with it. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen, and it doesn't mean it's going to happen. I'm giving you my opinion, and I'm trying to be as clear as possible because you guys already know we got those dumb fucks that don't understand English very well, and they're going to say, BC said we're going to 72,000 because they don't know what possible means. So unfortunately, sometimes I have to repeat myself more than once for the stupid people that are listening. All right. So now, if we do go there, I believe because of the normal market structures where I'm just going to have one green candle there. I'm looking at this area here as a possibility for a pullback. There's two areas that I'm looking for. Let me show them to you. Give me 1 second. All right. This yellow line, and let me go to the daily. It shows it a little bit better. As far as the channels, the two channels that we're working on a horizontal channel. The medium line is right here. And then we're looking at the diagonal channel. So we are converging. If you go back, let me go back to the 4 hour real quick. Sorry about this, guys. I'm on a lag right now because I am tethered and it's just not the best connection in the world. I'm not at my normal workstation at home since I'm on vacation. This medium line here is different from this medium line because this medium line is from the diagonal channel. This is from the horizontal channel. So we have two junctures that we're approaching. The medium line of the horizontal and the top of the diagonal. These are major resistance points. That's why I have a hard time with this target here. Not saying that it's not going to hit at some point. Just for this weekend, it's doubtful. All right, let's look back at this. Let's start with this one here. The horizontal channel line. Why is it so difficult? Well, just look back. We always want to look for strong support to act as strong resistance when we're coming from the underside. And that's where we're at. We're coming from the underside. Look at this resistance here. As a matter of fact, let me do this. We don't need the indicators. Here, resistance, support, all through this to support, major resistance, major support, resistance, major resistance. It goes on and on and on. That's why it's going to be tough here. And if we do break through it, then we have another brick wall, which is going to be the top of the channel. And let me show you that one. This is where the top of the channel got established. Between these two here. Resistance, 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 resistance. And we're coming up against that again. So we have 2 points that are going to be very difficult to cross that I believe have a more likely chance of being our top for the weekend. Scam pump weekends will sometimes, like I mentioned in the beginning, surprise us all. If it doesn't surprise us all, I want to have a plan. So the plan to the upside would be we would hit one of these two, and if we make it to here, I would expect a back test to this area here to flip it into support. Then a bounce and finally break the resistance that has held for 4 months, break it, back test it, and then go to here. Do you see why it seems less likely all of this to happen in a matter of 2 days? Very unlikely. That's why I'm saying you need to have some, you need to not only be excited for your team. If your team bull, fine, be excited, but also use a little bit of common sense and reasoning of the level of price action that needs to happen to break through these tremendous areas of resistance. And if they can do that, here it is. Now, this is something also good to keep in mind for future. This is going to get hit at some point. To me, most likely what's going to happen is we are going to reach this area here on a scam pump weekend. However, I believe we're going to come back down here and back test this here, try going up for a swing failure, and then come down because we have not closed the objectives to the upside. If we had not pushed up today and we would have kept on falling and closed those objectives first, I would be more apt to adopting this for either this weekend or the week that's coming. But because we didn't close the objectives, and I rely on those objectives on a daily and weekly basis when I look at the macro analysis of things, and when I'm not doing my intraday trading, I'm looking at the macro analysis. These objectives, they get hit very often. So it's difficult for me to ignore the rules whenever I feel like it. Whenever things are bullish, I'm just going to ignore everything and then let's leave it up to faith. I don't do that. I can't do that. A responsible trader would never do that. So, well, I wouldn't say never, but we try not to, put it that way, especially when we're trying to guide others or we're trying to set an example of what to do in good and bad practices. So we want to make sure that we try to set a good example. So based on this here, I think this has the most likely scenario. Now, if some people ask, well, what's down here that needs to be taken out? Well, if I turn my EMAs back on, there's quite a few things. We have, first of all, we mentioned this yesterday, we never back tested the break of the 21 EMA. That's down here, the daily 21 EMA. Now, like I said before, okay, one data point is not good enough. Can you give me several data points to back up the thesis and make a good case to come to the downside? Well, we got the 21 EMA, then we got high block heat right here at 62,150, and it's strong heat. It's very intense yellow, meaning that's the highest level of intensity for the liquidation, and that lines up almost perfectly with 21 EMA. What else? You go to jump to the weekly time frame. Let me just turn off the drawings for a second. We blasted through the 21 EMA on the weekly time frame, the 7 EMA on the weekly time frame, and we never back tested these. That's another reason. Now these also coincide. Here, let me just show you real quick. 61,500. Go to the daily. Turn on my indicators. That's 61,500. That's right here. Give me right there. You see what that lines up with? Lines up with the 21 EMA on the daily and the high block liquidation data. On top of that, we have what I told you guys yesterday, Castillo Trading's NPOC level at 58,800. And we have our reload fib area that I mentioned, which now now has to be adjusted. That does not have to be adjusted. This is here. I drew this today in anticipation that if this is the top, this would be valid. Look at 706, guys. Lines up perfectly with the NPOC level. Now, again, this is not a true retracement level because we don't know what the top is going to be. Once the top is in, wherever that may be, then I will adjust it accordingly. And obviously, these figures are going to change. So do not get married to these numbers. Again, they will change once we know what that top is. I don't know what that top is yet. Now, when I take this takeoff, I take it on this move here, not on this move here, because I'm expecting this to be a swing failure. Now, keep in mind that this is just a projection. This could be a lot closer. This is a little bit wide because this is the daily time frame, so it's not going to go on for till next Thursday. But I did it to help represent what I'm looking for. Look, right here, look, guys. Look, it's fucking everywhere. A double top, an M top is everywhere. Same properties I showed you last time. Look. Here's a top, here's a swing fail, here's a neckline, here's a back test, here's a back test, there's a failure. Nothing changes. That's why I tell you guys, this is so easy if you know what to look for. It's the same thing day in, day out, because this pattern, we use it on the 1 minute time frame. We use it on the 5 minute time frame. We use it on the 15-minute time frame where day traders and intraday traders like myself, we scalp in those time frames. Nothing changes. It's exactly the same. It's only hard when you don't have a system in place where you cannot identify the weakness and the strength for the pivots. When you can't recognize that you're driving blind. You're basically driving at night with no lights on, hoping that the road is straight and that you're not going to fall off of a cliff. That's what you're doing. when you're trading, not knowing, not having a proven system that works. Which is why I have a Discord. I charge $125 a month to month, or $300 for quarterly, which comes up to $100 a month, to teach you all of this here. And if you're one of those that says, you know what, BC, I got a full-time job. I don't have time to learn. I'm just trying to make some extra money. A fantasy money, of course, some of the paper money. I'm trying to make some paper trades. Can you help me with that? Yeah. You pay me $25 a month. You join my Telegram channel, and I tell you, enter your fantasy trade here and exit your fantasy trade there, and you made some money. Day in, day out, my members are making it happen. Give it a try. If you can't afford $25, then what the fuck are you doing in this space? If $25 is that important to you, how poor do you have to be? God damn, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine being that. But you should have no business being in crypto if you're that poor. I mean, this is not the place for you. All right, so that's it. All right, guys, my time is up. I went over a minute on my time. I just want to give you guys a very clear and concise plan. What we have a plan to the upside. We have a plan to the downside. Now we sit back. We allow the market to validate and invalidate each one of these plans because we don't know what's going to happen. But hopefully, with this as a guide, you start forming an idea. When these market structures start to confirm or invalidate, you will know with a good probability which direction we are headed. Everyone have a really good weekend, and I'll see you guys back here probably tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday. I tend not to do these on the weekends, but I may just go ahead, if I feel up to it, give you guys another update tomorrow morning. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.